I see spokesman. Yep, Chris is here.
So welcome aboard. Left-hand side.
Well, if we divide, we can get on now.
Oh, here. You want to get in?
Yeah, go ahead. Hop in.
Okay, hop in behind them.
I already had somebody say, is that Chris? I already had somebody say, is that Chris? So there's Chris. Yeah, I'm live.
We're all live, right? This is a trifecta of liveness.
John, Big Fat Panda.
Guys, of course, you know that
There's going to be a panda on the safari today. It's brand new.
I thought they should have pandas here at the animal kingdom.
Yeah, because they're big in Africa.
If they're big in Africa, is that
You okay? You comfy?
I'm fine.
Watch those doors on the right. Watch your feet, they are closing.
Make sure you say so Cindy can say hi. Say hi, Cindy.
Animal Kingdom, in case you have not
Asante
figured
Sana.
that
What they say in Harambe. Twende. That means let's go.
All right, so we're going on the
Jambo,
safari.
everybody say Jambo.
Jambo!
That means hello in the language of Swahili, so hi. And welcome aboard today. My name is Patrick. I'm going to be your game driver and safari guide for today's adventure through Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Hope you're excited. Are y'all excited? Yeah. All right, it's going to be fun. Harambe Wildlife Reserve began back in the year 1971. Started by the citizens of Harambe Village. It is 800 square miles of reserved African wilderness. Home to some of Africa's most amazing wildlife. So hopefully today we get to see them all. Take a look above your head and you can check out that super cool animal spotting guide. It's going to help you identify the many different types of creatures we have the chance of seeing today. Now we may not see every single one of those animals up there because of different migration habits out there.
Good morning,
So,
everybody.
we normally have some pretty good luck here at Kilimanjaro Safari.
We're here for the Lion King Media Day at Animal Kingdom. So we're going to take you guys along on the ride through the Kilimanjaro Safari with us.
We're taking a similar journey that lots of people have come out here to Harambe Wildlife Reserve to see lots of amazing wildlife, including some Disney animators. Recently, for that all-new Lion King film coming out soon, we had some visitors here to Harambe Wildlife Reserve studying the movements of these animals and their amazing different behaviors to get inspired to create the Disney film that's coming out actually today. Pretty exciting. We're going to begin our adventure today. And we're starting our adventure here in the Little Utsuri Forest, which is very dense highland rainforest, home to some of the reserve's more reclusive creatures. And if you take a look on the right-hand side, you're seeing two of them right now. These are called okapi. Usually the first thing you notice about them is their interesting zebra-like stripes, leading you to believe they must be related to a zebra. But you are looking at the only living relative of the giraffe. What? So pretty crazy. They have an almost identical skeletal structure to giraffes and a lot of the same body features. Just like giraffes, they are browsers. You can see they're using their long necks, and they also have long tongues, just like giraffes do, for browsing, eating leaves high at the tops of their heads. They're also the only other animal that have what are called ossicones, and that are horn-like structures on the tops of their heads, covered in skin and hair. Only giraffe and okapi have them. Unlike their cousins, though, okapi are very much homebodies.
Hi, Tony. Thanks for watching all the way from
hundreds
Maryland.
of miles. Okapi will stick to a home range of 1 square mile. It's pretty cool. And because of that, they were not discovered by Westerners until the year 1901. Pretty amazing for such a large animal. And right down here on the right-hand side, these are my favorite kinds of birds. They're called saddle-billed stork. You get a really good look at them. They get the name saddle-billed stork from that big yellow patch on that bill. Kind of looks like a horse saddle. And the fact we're seeing two of them likely means that's a mating pair. It's believed those birds mate for life. Can I get an aww? Oh, it's a love story here in the jungle. It's so cool. Oh my goodness. Left-hand side, right over here. Two black rhinoceros, one of the 2 African rhino species. This is pretty crazy. This is usually an animal you'd think to expect to come on safari to see, but it's believed there are fewer than 5,000 of these black rhinoceros estimated to remain in the world, which is pretty amazing. I'm gonna pause here a sec. Now, an easier way to identify a black rhino is actually by looking at their mouth. If you look closely, you can see that they have that triangular upper lip. It's prehensile, meaning they can browse and pick leaves off of bushes and trees here in forests or dense scrublands. They're so cool. Didn't even notice how many horns they have? 2 horns, yeah. So African rhinos both actually have 2 horns. So not quite a chubby unicorn, more like a chubby duocorn. We'll talk about more of them in a second. On the right-hand side, take a look behind this bush. Look closely, because there are some bongo up there. In fact, if you look over your right shoulder, you might just see their horns poking out from around those bushes. There's these burnt orange colored antelope. If you look closely, you might see their bright white stripes on the side. Look to the right now. There's a couple right there. Another reclusive animal. So infrequently seen by people, actually. They were become nicknamed the ghosts of the forest. What's cool about rhino horns, they're not actually a true horn. not even made up of bones. Does anyone know what they're made up of? Keratin. They're called keratin. Does anyone know what else is made up of keratin?
Nails.
Your fingernails. Yeah, take a look at the back of your hand and your hair. Both of those things are made up of keratin. It grows just like our fingernails and our hair. It's pretty amazing. We're gonna head on down to our next stop, everybody. Sapi River. It's a very important watershed. Very important source of fresh water for this area. It's also home to some of Africa's most dangerous wildlife, and I'm not talking about the crocodiles. Coming up on our right-hand side, I think I spotted a hippo. Take a look to your right, down there in that water. Pretty amazing. Oh my goodness. Left-hand side, there's a whole bunch more. Looks like we have stumbled right into a bloated hippo. We're gonna pause right here. It's usually a good idea to keep our distance from hippo. Despite their cute faces, they're one of the more territorial animals here in Africa. If you ever see them yawning at you, they're not tired. That's actually a territorial display. But hippos are mostly nocturnal. You can see they're sleeping down there. But what's really cool is if you take a look to the left-hand side, these hippos are completely asleep. They can fall asleep under the water, and a natural reflex will bring them up for air, take a breath, and go right back down, not even waking up. Also on your left-hand side, looks like nesting along this small island is a large pod of pink-backed pelican. And they get that name from a very light pink color that get on their backs around mating season. Lots of birds love hanging around Sapi River, especially because of those hippos. Hippos are a very, very crucial animal to an African wetland ecosystem, mostly because of their poop. They have a very colorful way of going to the bathroom. It's called a dung shower. They shake their tail and defecate at the same time. Wow, Mr. Patrick, thank you for that mental image. You're welcome. This is such an important behavior because it adds a lot of nutrients back into the water, attracting lots of microorganisms, making lots of food for the fish, meaning there's healthy fisheries here in the rivers for the birds and the peoples that live around African rivers, but also for these big reptiles you see on the left-hand side that regulate this ecosystem, Nile crocodile. There's a whole lot of them down here. Check it out.
John, that was a fact I haven't quite heard on this safari.
They are one of the most powerful predators here in Africa. The fight great load, registering roughly 2,000 pounds per square inch every time they snap those jaws shut. But despite that ferocious reputation they have and their ferocious looks, Nile crocodiles are very good parents. What? Yeah, unlike most reptiles, let's just drop an egg off and say, good luck, kid, you're on your own. Crocodiles will take care of their babies.
Thank
in fact,
you, Ken.
both male and
We appreciate hearing
female
that.
Nile crocodile will gently roll their eggs around in their mouths to help their young hatch out of their eggs. They don't stop there. Mama croc is a very fierce mama. She'll keep her babies safe, even carrying them around with a little pouch in her mouth until they are big enough to go off on their own. Kind of cool, right? Don't judge a book by its cover. Crocodiles are some of the best parents in the animal kingdom. It's pretty amazing.
Yes, we are. We're at Animal Kingdom at Walt
We're about to
Disney
head
World.
out of this valley, my friends, out of this forest and down into a completely different ecosystem from what we've seen so far. We're going to see a
Hi,
lot of
Cindy
different types of
Simmons. Thanks for
animals,
watching.
but also a lot of different types of plants. Speaking of which, coming up on the right-hand side, my favorite kind of tree. It's called a baobab tree. Does anyone know its nickname?
Upside down.
The upside down tree. And that's because it kind of looks like somebody came over here and planted that tree right upside down with those bare branches reaching up high towards the sky. This tree is right side up. They just go leafless for most of the year. It helps them store up lots of water in that trunk for the dry season. You might be seeing more of them. They're very old trees. They need to live over 2,000 years. Pretty amazing. And they're native to this big environment coming into view right now. Welcome to the savannas of Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now this, y'all, is the wild Africa we're working so hard to protect back in the village of Harambe. The tropical grasslands in sub-Saharan Africa here are once again called savannas, open grassland, open bush country. The savannas of this reserve are part of the larger, famous Serengeti Masai Mara ecosystem, made famous by that little known film, The Lion King. You might have heard of it. Just like in The Lion King, it is home to some of Africa's most iconic wildlife, including on the right-hand side, these beautiful long-necked creatures, giraffes. And take a look at that little girl on the right-hand side, a little baby giraffe right over there.
Where?
Right-hand side. Check it out. Just beyond the giraffes, you might see there's a couple of wildebeest down there, but don't worry. I think we'll get another view of them just up ahead. These aren't just any giraffe, though. These are Maasai giraffe, one of the 4 species of giraffe in the world. They're common here in East Africa, but an easier way to identify them is if you look closely, they have jagged, irregularly shaped spot patterns. If you look up on the spotting guide, you can see another species of giraffe called a reticulated giraffe. A lot bigger spots, a lot smoother. And don't worry, Hakuna Matata. We'll see if we can get another view of them just around these acacia trees. Also on the right-hand side, those small antelope off in the distance are called springbok. They're very cool. They are in fact the 3rd fastest land animal. They get its speeds of about 60 miles an hour. That's enough to even get a cheetah run for his or her own money, or, you know, almost pass you on the highway. You can imagine on the left-hand side, a little springbok passing in the left lane. Oh my goodness, left-hand side though. These are one of my favorite animals. African wild dogs. They are so cool. We're gonna pause here a sec. They're also nicknamed an African painted dog because of their beautiful coats. What's really cool about them is they're one of Africa's most successful hunters. And unlike other large predators around here that mostly use ambush tactics, they will use their high athleticism. They're endurance hunters. They work like a little sports team, using different plays, different tactics to run their prey into exhaustion. They can keep up speeds of 30 miles an hour for over 3.5 miles. They're pretty amazing. When one dog gets tired,
Good morning, Vanessa.
another one's right there to
Thank you
swap
for
in the
watching.
lead. And they often let the pups, the kids, and the elderly of the pack eat first. They're so cool and so amazing. Sadly, though, very endangered because of habitat loss out here in Africa. It's believed less than 6,000 of those dogs remain in the wilds of Africa. We're gonna go check out those springbok once again up ahead, but you might notice these large, kind of strange rock formations all around us. Well, these aren't just strange rocks, these are termite mounds. Termite mounds are made out of a pretty fun combination of soil, saliva, and feces. That's poop. Everybody say ew. Yeah, it's kind of gross, but it's pretty cool. When fully constructed, those mounds will be as hard as rock, and mounds as large as these ones can take over 5 years to build. They're like little underground cities. Now look at these little springbok on the left-hand side.
I was waiting for you.
You can really see how tiny they are. Like I said, very fast. Now they get the name springbok from the springing motion they do. It's called a pronking.
Oh,
It looks like a human on a pogo stick, kind of like bouncing. They can bounce as high as 6 feet into the air or 13 feet or more when they leave. Once again, coming up on the right-hand side, those 2 giraffes we saw earlier. Looks like a mom and her baby, but they're likely part of a larger group of giraffes somewhere around here. Keep on the lookout for them. I'll pause one more time so you can get a good photo of them. Now you might be thinking, oh my goodness, that baby giraffe is so tiny. Look at her, she might be taller than you. In fact, baby giraffes, just a calf, are normally about 6 feet tall right out of the womb. Already taller than the average humans fully grown. And they only get bigger from there. A giraffe can reach heights of 16 to 20 feet tall, fully grown. They use that amazingly long neck for what's called browsing. They play a very important role here in the savannah, like little hedge trimmers. They trim the trees around here, letting that sunlight shine through, letting the grasses grow long and tall. For grazers, such as these antelope coming up on the left-hand side, sable antelope. They're very cool. They're a very proud, very territorial species. They use their large curved horns to battle with other sable antelope for territory, but they will also use those horns for fighting off predators like lions. In fact, when given the choice of fight or flight, a sable antelope will almost always choose fight, even against a lion. It's that bravery and courage for them that gave them the emblem of Harambe Wildlife Reserve. You might have noticed when we did the reserve.
Team Lion.
On the right-hand side, off in the distance, that is a white-bearded wildebeest. Likely part of a larger herd. We'll keep on the lookout for them. Those wildebeest get a little bit of a bad rap, you might remember from The Lion King. They didn't do it. They didn't get my boy Mufasa. Kind of what you saw there, though, in that movie was something called herd mentality. The wildebeest are kind of average size. They're not very big, they're not very fast, but they're very cooperative. And when one wildebeest starts running, they all got to start running. And that is where that herd mentality comes in. They almost have a herd of intelligence because they use their numbers for their safety. Stay safe from these predators like lions. Those movements and those amazingly large herds that can sometimes number up to 1.5 million wildebeest that inspired such spectacular scenes you saw on The Lion King. We're going to keep on a lookout for more animals, my friends, but we're going to head up into a gallery forest. And that's a big forest that surrounds a river and sneaks through the savannah. This is another good place to look out for more browsers. It's also sometimes a good place to look out for animals like monkeys or maybe even some larger creatures. I've seen lots of trees knocked down around here. Let's keep on a lookout. Oh my gosh, right-hand side. Look at that little guy over there. Relatively speaking, African elephant. He's kind of off in the distance. If you're in the back of the truck, you might have a hard time seeing that little guy. We're gonna get a little bit closer, real slowly. I love elephants. They're my favorite animals. I do think this is a young bull elephant, and you can tell because it does look like he's on his own. Male elephants are around the age of 13 to 15. Say, see you later, Mom. They'll leave their family herds and go off on their own. Check it out. That's a real good view of that elephant. I'm going to stop here again. You can see him using that trunk to good use. Elephant noses are like way cooler than our noses. It's almost like a hand for them. You can see he's reaching up, grabbing some leaves right off of that branch. These African elephants have two finger-like features right on the end of the trunk that they can use for grabbing stuff, like food off the ground, high off a tree, and they can be incredibly precise. That elephant could pick up something as small as a US dime right off the ground and hand it right to you. Or they can be very powerful. That elephant could, like just take a tree and rip it up out of the ground and throw it like it was a weed. There's about 40,000 different muscles in an elephant's trunk. And that's more muscles than in the entire human body. We only have a little less than or around 650 muscles in our bodies. Pretty crazy how intricate that appendage should be. You might get another view of them on the right-hand side. The male elephants, while mostly solitary once they reach adulthood, it's not uncommon to find them in larger bachelor herds. That's a bunch of boy elephants living together, kind of like a fraternity of elephants. They also never stray too far from the females, so let's go see if we can find any more elephants around here. No, I don't see any elephants down by that river to the left-hand side. We'll go check the red clay pits. They're just up ahead. And I'm going to give you a little elephant tracking 101. We are here in the red clay pits, and take a look to the left and the right-hand side. Some of these tusk marks dug into the clay walls. Look right down here on the left and right side of the truck, just close to the truck. These big circles on the ground are elephant footprints. Looks like a herd was here not too long ago. Looks like these footprints are leading this way. Let's go see if we can find some elephants. Might still be around here. Now, elephant tusks are, in fact, really big teeth. Incisors, in fact. They go all the way up out of their face. Elephants can use them for a variety of purposes. You can see back there in the clay pits almost like a shovel. They can dig out that red clay, for instance, which they try to eat. It works like a multivitamin for an elephant. They can also use those tusks for digging up roots out of the ground, chipping bark off of trees to eat. Male elephants will use them for sparring with other males when competing for a girlfriend, but mom elephants will also use them for protecting their babies. Speaking of which, on the left-hand side, I think we might have found a herd. It looks like two young elephants over here. I love elephants. Not only are these big, majestic creatures, but they're incredibly intelligent. They have one of the largest brains in the animal kingdom. We learned so much about them from studying them here in Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Does anyone know how you can tell we're looking at African elephants? Hey, we're in Africa. You're not wrong. Yeah. But take a look at the ears. You can see African elephant ears are very large and shaped a lot like the continent of Africa, whereas Asian elephant ears much smaller, much more triangular shaped. Does anyone know how much food an elephant can eat per day? Anyone want to take a guess in pounds?
2,000 pounds.
Oh, that's a lot of food, but not 2,000. Maybe, I don't know. Around 600 pounds of food a day. That's a lot.
600 pounds of food.
Quite a lot of food. It's very important because when elephants eat a lot of food, they're also eating a lot of seeds. And you know what goes in Muscat mouth. Elephants are sometimes nicknamed the great fertilizers of Africa. Because where they go, they don't stay still. They migrate. They eat a lot of food and they drop a lot of dung. But elephant dung can contain lots of seeds. Wherever they go, they're planting grasses, they're planting trees, they're planting bushes. Making lots of food for the grazers. All kinds of browsers as well. Also making lots of food for the big predators like lions. Take a look at all these trees knocked down. This might seem like a negative, but elephants are the big engineers of the savannah, the landscapers. They create all the savannas you see. Such an important animal to protect. They're pretty amazing. Left-hand side, one of my favorite birds down here, flamingos, but not just any flamingo. These are greater flamingo, the largest species of flamingo in the world. They're also the lightest shade of pink. You can see they're actually feeding down there. Flamingo are filter feeders. Very similarly, eating like a whale. In fact, they have these little teeth-like structures in their mouths called the lambellae that they will use to catch their food, and they filter back out the water. Does anyone know why flamingos are pink? Very good, from all that shrimp they're eating, right? They like eating little invertebrates like briny shrimp and krill, but they also feed on algae. But it's a special ingredient in that food called beta-carotene that turns them pink. Can anybody say beta-carotene? Yeah, can anybody say it 5 times fast?
I don't know, what about their dung?
I never forget it now. Humans eat beta-carotene too. You might find that in food like a carrot, though you won't turn pink. Though I hear if you eat a lot of carrots, you might turn a little orange in the face. For all that beta-carotene. As much as I want to say back there, look at those elephants and those flamingos. We got some more animals to find, my friends. We're heading into the eastern side of the reserve, and if you look right up ahead, we have found a big family of white rhinoceros. They're very cool. Not only are they the larger of the two African rhino species, they are the largest rhino species in the world. Also, the most social rhino species. You can see right up here, this is a group of females. Just like elephants, the females will live in groups. Though they're females, some males tend to be more solitary. They are called a crash of rhinos. Very fun. Because they are big, and they are surprisingly fast. A white rhino can weigh as much as 5,000 pounds, but can sprint at speeds of around 35 miles an hour. And they can gallop like a horse, all 4 feet off the ground. In fact, they're closely related to horses. Like a big, spunky tank horse. Like a big spunky dog. They're very big personalities, and I love them. We're going to get a little closer to them.
Come back.
Now we're going to really look at these rhinos, but I bet you they can't see us too well. Rhinos are very nearsighted. Things beyond 100 feet are almost impossible for them to see, but they have a very good sense of smell. You see they're kind of hanging their head low, sniffing around, and if you notice their ears swivel like a little satellite dish, so they can smell and they can hear what's going on around them. Sadly, though, that poor eyesight makes them easy targets for poachers. These are a big target for lots of poachers out here in East Africa, but we're going to help solve this problem. And you can too. Oh, they're so cool. You can see they are covered in dirt and mud. I don't love being filthy. We're probably rolling around in those mud wallows you see on the left-hand side. That's not just to get dirty for no reason. It actually protects their skin, just like you can get sunburned by the harmful UV rays of the sun if you don't put your sunscreen on. So can a rhino. They have very sensitive skin. So they use mud. Works like a pretty good sunscreen substitute. All that mud also keeps the bugs off them and helps to keep cool. Now we're heading through a valley over here. All these hills and rocks and ridges are very good places to look out for big cats. Keep your wits about you. I don't know what we're going to find around here. A lot of the large cats of this reserve like using these hills and rocks to get a good view of the savannah.
Yes.
Not seeing anything around here. We'll go check out down by the Kopis. Wingu Kopis is just up ahead. Coming into view, though, not only can you see the Kopi rocks, but right down here, these little guys are called Bantabak. And there's one right in the road, so we're going to pause here a second. I love them. They're very pretty. They have very beautiful coats. Oh, they need colored. They're very highly sought after for their coats because of unmanaged hunting. It was believed in the early 19th century, early 1900s, I mean, there was only around 17 of these Bantabaks left. But they are a very cool conservation story. They were able to be saved by farmers. They moved them to farms and sanctuaries where they could successfully rebreed Bantabak up to healthy numbers, and because of their unathleticism, the Bantabak weren't able to jump out of the farms, jump out of their fences. So sometimes unathleticism can save your species. Now they're considered very much healthy numbers. But it's a conservation success story like that. It could be projects like that, how we save larger animals like elephants and rhinos if they were to become what you call extinct in the wild. Very cool. We've made it up here to the Kopi Rocks. These are large rock formations found all across the Serengeti, and they are often home to Africa's most amazing and celebrated predators. Lions, right up there on the left-hand side. You can see the king of the beasts just up there, taking a little bit of a cat nap.
Oh, I see him.
Look at that big guy. Does anyone know if that is a boy or a girl lion right there at the farthest rock? Hey, how'd you know?
He's laying around.
Very good, yeah. Male lions have the manes. It starts as a little tuft of hair when he's born and will continue to grow for his entire life. You can actually see the age of a male lion based on how long his mane is. It'll grow for his whole life till it's well past those front legs, because not only does it make him look big and impressive, but it's like a suit of armor. And like a knight, a male lion often uses that mane to keep himself safe while he battles other male lions for territory. Battle him for his kingdom. Battle him to protect his family. Right up there on that top rock, you can see a lioness, the female lion. Lions are amazing predators, a very important animal to the circle of life. Look at that lioness right down there closest to us.
Oh.
Lions work to keep down overpopulation out here in the savannah, which can lead to overgrazing. They also keep down the spread of disease, which can spread to other host stock and eventually spread to livestock and then spread to humans. They are such an important animal to the biodiversity of Africa and the circle of life. It's not just a fun song, it's a pretty profound concept because it's real. And sadly, since the Lion King film came out, only half of the world's lions remain here in Africa. But the Disney Conservation Fund is working to solve this. By supporting the Disney Conservation Fund, right now you're supporting the Lion Recovery Fund, an effort to double the amount of lions in Africa by the year 2050. So today you can help a lion by supporting the Disney Conservation Fund. But more on that later. Speaking of the Lion King, left-hand side, warthogs. Look at them, I love warthogs. If you have a keen eye, you might look down below. You can also see those big burrows they've been digging out. Look at them. Warthogs, despite being big, are very fast, very agile. They can run at speeds of close to 35 miles an hour. They're very light-footed. They almost do a little bounce when they run. Definitely studying warthogs, animators are able to fully capture Pumbaa's movements in the Lion King. Right-hand side, you can see that Bontabak again, and it also looks like there's another good view of that rhino off in the distance. Down close to the truck, you might also see those large eggs. Those are ostrich eggs. That might mean there's a group of ostriches around here somewhere. Keep on the lookout. Now, one ostrich laid all those eggs. It was likely from a group of ostriches. They're communal nesters, meaning they lay their eggs all together. If you keep looking left, you might get another view of those warthogs. Into our final stop out here in Harambe Wildlife Reserve, right there at the edge. Beautiful little meadow called Magadi, named after the springs just up here. It's often home to a very cool creature. You probably need to come on safari to see this animal. I want you to get a good look at it. Up on the left-hand side, this animal is called a scimitar horned oryx. They're very rare to find. They are considered extinct in the wild, meaning these days they're only found on reserves, protected areas, and zoos across the world. This animal is part of a lot of conservation projects, one you can call a species survival plan, which a lot of AZA or Association of Zoos and Aquariums will do to help rebreed animals, create sustainable populations in human care, and one day, hopefully, we could successfully reintroduce animals like scimitar horned oryx back into their native range in North Africa. It's pretty amazing. That's a big reason why the citizens of Harambe created this reserve. Harambe is Swahili meaning to come together, and all the citizens of Harambe are trying to come together to protect the amazing wildlife that can be found out here in Harambe Wildlife Reserve. But we hope you want to join us. A lot of the animals we see today could become extinct, disappearing within our lifetime. But we can solve this, my friends, and you can too. In fact, you could and may have just made a positive impact on, say, a lion's life today. For every person that tours with us here at Kilimanjaro Safari, starting today for the next week in celebration of the Lion Kingdom opening, the Disney Conservation Fund is donating up to $2 for every person that rides Kilimanjaro Safaris, all going towards the Protect the Pride campaign and the Lion Recovery Fund. So give yourself a little self-pat on the back. You might have just saved the lion's life today. You don't have to stop there. There's so many more outlets you can use to learn more about your favorite animals. You can get most of your favorite animals. See, there's nature documentaries you watch at home to learn more about your favorite creatures. But don't just stop there. You can share all the knowledge you learn. The human race is connected these days more than ever before. So by sharing more information about your favorite animals, the more people want to care. The more people care, the best chance these animals have. Little things like that, my friends, that go an incredibly long way and have a profound impact on not only the lives of the animals you've seen today on safari with me, but even animals in your own backyards as well. Alrighty then, my friends, this is going to be your stop today. Thank you for riding Kilimanjaro Safaris today. Thank you for supporting the Disney Conservation Fund and the Lion Recovery Fund. But here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. It's too sad. So instead, I'm going to leave you with Kwaherini. That means to go well. As I drop you off right here, Kwaherini, my friends, go well. Have a great rest of your day here in Harambe or wherever your adventures take you to next.
Love the Main Street Magic. Perfect.
Just kidding. We're going to drop you off the next dock. Yeah.
Good question.
Did everybody have fun?
Yeah. We're gonna draw.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, we can flip it.
But I know just by coming on this ride, you have made a difference.
Hi.
Hi,
Which is
all.
not no small thing.
So,
It's pretty amazing.
Cindy,
So you
really
can come on
behind
again.
us.
Like I said, there's so many more
Thank you guys
things.
for watching. Appreciate you sticking with
Just like
us.
lions are
We kept our
just
signal, which was
species.
positive.
Yeah, I was worried that that was not going to happen. So
if you
so
have a
we
green
are
thumb to
here
make a pollinator garden,
most of the day today
right on your
to celebrate the opening of
The Lion King.
The Lion King. Sorry, I'm on very little sleep. And what are we going to do, Cindy? We're going
like a
to
little
scavenger
plastic bottle.
hunt.
We're going to scavenger hunt. We're going to take super cute. They have all these really fun The Lion King photo backdrops all over Disney's Animal Kingdom. So we're going to go take as many pictures as possible to show you guys where you can come and take pictures.
Yeah, so stay tuned
awesome.
either here or on our Instagram at the Main Street Mouse. And we will have as much coverage as possible.
Once again,
It's a little warm out here
Have a
today.
great
A little bit hot.
Little
It's early and it's already
swampy.
swampy.
So if you're going to the parks today, make sure you stay hydrated because it is warm
water.
today.
Okay.
All right.
You're gonna flip it.
Yeah, we're gonna get off here. We'll walk down, then we'll say goodbye.
Everybody go well.
Okay, we're gonna take a walk, and then we'll say goodbye to you guys in a moment.
Welcome back, everyone. Have a great day.
So we're just gonna take you guys on a little walk as we just got off our truck, and we're just gonna take you back to where everybody's at, and we'll say goodbye here. Just one memento. Actually, they're teaming up here. Shelly, you want to say goodbye?
Yeah. Great. So, thank you for riding this apart.